Gained a lot by being involved with the country women's. I suppose we're all a bit shy and timid when you're young, but no way would 40 years ago would have I sat here talking to you like this. But I have, I've gone, well, you more or less say, I've gone through the ranks. I was a member, and then of course you get your office jobs, your secretaries and your president, and I can't tell you how long in my 47 years that I've been president, which I am at the moment. And then in 1992 I was group president of our group.
1976, Dr. Jabbar was here then, and he wanted to get married. Because he had a wife that he wanted to marry in India. So he needed a locum for a special length of time. And he had advertised overseas and said that he would pay the fare of the doctor and his wife out from England and back. And I was broke at the time. I didn't have enough money to get to Australia. So I wrote and I said that I had worked in Pakistan and I didn't realise that his wife was a Pakistani, and that I didn't want the fare there and back, I just wanted the fare out. I got a call from a man who said, can you come out and see him? I think my brother's buggered. I went in and he said, well, my brother's there, and then I could see that he'd died. He must have just had a heart attack. And so we went into the house and we had to get the policeman up from Boolarra, and he got lost. It was just that foggy, and the house was in freezing cold. So I said, do you have any other relatives? He said, well, my sister's coming. I said, well, look, wouldn't it be nice if you made a fire so that, you know, it's warm? So, oh yes, that gave them something to do, and then waited till the sister came, and then we went through all. Finally the policeman came, but that was a bit scary for me.
No, for one thing, you haven't got a train anymore, and the swimming pool has changed. It had a natural bottom and was only the sides fastened, and it was an Olympic-sized pool. It had 3-meter spring jumping board.
I feel that I'm a humane person. I like to think I am, and I got into animal welfare, and because of the terrific number of animals being put down, I decided I'd start the animal aid and make money to have them de-sexed, strays de-sexed. And I've been doing that for over 40 years. The other thing I'm involved in deeply is trying to keep our native flora and fauna going, because we can see that at every bit of land that's being used up, we're losing species. And I've been involved in the Australian Plant Society for a long time.
We've made a network of paths which we are now working on. This will be our major project, and it will go around the perimeter of the park as well, so it'll really show it off to its maximum. We upgraded the toilets, we built a picnic shelter near the toilets, we've built this big barbecue shelter where the monthly market is assembled, and the playground, which is in the background, which we've developed. And we've got the shade sails over it, the skate bowl, which is a wonderful asset for the kids.
It evolved into part of the Creative Village, but the skate bowl project, well actually skate park project, was initiated prior to the Creative Village thing. There was probably a core bunch of about 6 or 8 kids, but at any given meeting we started having regular meetings to plan what exactly they wanted, and there was probably 12, 15 at any of those meetings. There were some people who really didn't want a skate bowl in the middle of town, thought it would be fine as long as it was out of town, and I thought that that was pretty contrary to the whole essence of the project, that these kids had a right to be right in the community, and that of course it would get utilised more. And and the park would be an ideal situation.
We were involved in doing all the murals, or encouraging, you know, 1 or 2 of them were done privately, but yes, to make the street look attractive. The street crossings too, and you'll notice that in the crossings there is another form of mural done by a local potter.
Oh, I find that thought horrific, really. I can't imagine it. I know that today we have a lot of opportunities, and particularly younger girls nowadays, they're out there just doing whatever they choose to do, basically. They've been given a lot of opportunities.
You look at the old ballads of Banjo Paterson, and you hear the stories about those women. They were very strong women and didn't give up, and would always look for ways of making things better for their families.
Where I could make a difference to people, make them feel better.
Now, I'm not a gender person. I don't think it made any difference. I think you get out of life what you put into it, whether you're a male or a female, and no, I didn't ever perceive any difficulty.
Yeah, I think women have always had a big role in the community, but now we get women moving into those more leadership positions where they're seen and heard and they're speaking for themselves. And sometimes that's a different voice.
I don't see those people as wanting to be in the limelight all the time. I think they're the backbone of things, that they're there and they're doing the work, but they don't particularly want to get up there and be the leading light. There's tons of women here who are doing that.
It's very easy to sit at home and suffer all sorts of thoughts about what should be going on in the community. It's harder to get out and get involved and work with a team of people to improve things. But I think people gain a lot from doing it.
We all live in a community. You can't just exist in a world on your own. I think it's important that we support one another, work with one another, and work in a loving way that just fosters everybody within the community. Then you have a loving and healthy community around you. You can get out and do things. It's a very different world to what it was 100 years ago.
Well, it was that time, and it might have been appropriate in that time, but I think it needed to change. It was like after the First World War, it was ladies expected something different because they had to cope a lot more, and well, yeah, it just had to change.